I was literally chilling, sitting on the toilet. I never forget that day. I was just sitting on the toilet, and then I saw a plane fly. I was like, okay, think about this. You get to do iconic things with your hands. Right. So what's the point of not becoming a pilot? I will be a pilot.
I'm here today with Rambod, fashion icon, pilot, socialite. What else would you use to describe you? I think when people see you, they see main character energy, and they probably have their own assumptions. But what do you really want people to know initially when they meet you firsthand?
Well, I love flying most, so I feel like I'm a pilot, but at the same time, I'm a fashion enthusiast, model, icon, whatever. Honestly, I don't even like with people. Like I usually say like, perceive me how you want to perceive me. I don't really care because like I'm really fun. Sometimes like when people find out, oh my god, you're a pilot. Oh my god, like they cannot even believe I have that serious side.
Right.
Until like they see me in a more serious setting, and then they're like, oh, okay.
Well, I think when people think of pilots, right, they think of the pilot outfit, the hat, that whole kind of aura. And I haven't seen you in that. I've just seen you in your fashion outfit. So I can't wait to see you in the pilot outfit one day.
I post stories with my pilot outfits all the time.
That's true.
You should take a closer look to my Instagram then.
I will. I'll start scrolling more. So I know you have such an interesting story, and we briefly talked in the past, coming overseas, immigrating. What would you want, when people think of your childhood, how did you start and how did you progress to who you are today from major life turning points, the transition to Canada in general? What are things that really impacted who you are as a human being?
Well, being somebody like myself, I come from a very well-educated background. My mother's a surgeon. My dad is a PhD holder in mechanical engineering. He also does a lot of like international deals. Like he's an entrepreneur as well. But what really was the turning point in my life that I need to like get out of Iran in that moment was me being LGBT. Like I felt like, I mean, in Iran, I didn't feel like my attraction to any Persian guys because they're just not really my type. As much as I love all my Persian friends and we have the most stunning looking women, but I like white guys and it is what it is. So I remember the first time I was 12, I saw Vampire Diaries, Ian Somerhalder, Damon character. Oh my goodness.
That was the heartthrob.
That was the turning point into my entire life because I was like, this is now me. Like, okay, I need to figure myself out.
Okay.
Energy. That was what happened there. But honestly, and another big thing that really hurt me was when I was 12, my friend Ali was killed in Iran by his own family. That really ruined. That really turned my entire belief of life because I was like, this was not fair to him. What happened was never okay, and that was my cue that I need to get out and I need to figure something out for myself. And being back and forth. I mean, from the family I come from, all my family live in the United States. So like, I'm the first generation who really loves Canada and stayed here. And we used to like go to US all the time or like travel the world. Like my family is very well traveled. So in our family, in our culture, what happened was absolutely insane, but it did happen. So for me to see my bestest friend disappearing out of my life for 6 months, I knew nothing. I see his mother in a grocery store in Iran, in a convenience store actually. And then she was like, she hugged me and cried. Like it was a horrible scene that I at first couldn't believe it. I was in denial that this is really what happened because I thought he moved to Germany according to what other people said. But my best friend was killed and not by strangers, by his own dad and his brother. He was honor killed.
Wow.
And this did not happen ages ago. This happened, 13 years ago. So this was a big moment in my life and I got a tattoo on my left shoulder, that says, "E roshani sobh be mashriq bargard," means may the light of wisdom, the light that it used to be, returned to the land of East. Like that how people used to be kind, how people used to perceive others without religious beliefs. That was my cue that okay, like, and it took me almost since I was 12. I met Ali, and then when I was 14 is when this happened. He was my bestest friend. So like when I was 14, I made it, my family, myself, I made it possible to move to Canada, and I'm so glad I did.
Right. So definitely a turning point, because you realize you come in kind of into some authenticity at a young age, and then you realize if you wanted to be that person where you were located, you could actually be fearful for your life.
Yeah.
So it was like, okay, the transition needs to happen. If I want to kind of glow up and become the man I want to be, this is not the place. How much of an effect did you have on your parents then to want to immigrate? Like, were they already thinking of it, or were you like, this is something that is happening in my life, and that kind of encouraged your family to pick up and leave?
Well, I mean, I'm Persian, but I have Austrian background. So like, my dad has Austrian roots. So uh, our family was always super like multicultural. Like we I mean, again, everyone in my family either lives in the United States or Austria. So we were used to traveling a lot, like Dubai, Austria, Europe, like in general, and then North America. But when I turned 14 and I applied, I used to apply to I applied to different schools, like really high end private schools that have really good, you know, programs that would guarantee you end up in a good school, like in a good university.
Yeah.
And all my life I wanted to study medicine. So for me that was doable. So I did that, and I got into Sanders College, this really cute, amazing, this incredible school in Ottawa, Ontario, which I'm so glad I got in, because that was the school that I learned a lot of things in, like leadership, sportsmanship. Like even right now as a pilot, I a lot of airmanship that I learned as a pilot is reflecting upon everything I learned in Sanders College.
Right.
So thank God for that education. My family never really, my parents never really full-time immigrated to Canada, because again, in my family, I and my sisters are the first generation who stayed here, because regardless of what's happening in the world, Canada is a country where nobody's rights are touched just because somebody is the head, somebody's a leader, somebody is the president. Like when I see with what's happening in the US, as much as I love economical growth, I am very much against having a Pride Month turn into Veterans Month. It's an insult to veterans, first of all, because why would veterans need a month that is not for them to be theirs? Veterans deserve their own month,
Right.
but at the same time, Pride needs to also happen, because, well, why take away something that is so beautiful? And like, what is with the insecurities of the current leadership in the US that this needs to be happening? I find it silly that a straight man sees the need to um, really attack the LGBT community. I don't think it's a bit weird. There should be no reason for a straight man to uh, want this. Like, don't get me wrong. I am somebody who's very much against so many things that the liberals stand for.
Mhm.
When it comes to politics. Like I and my partner, we both voted conservative for these elections, because Canada is going towards some directions where we're prioritizing foreigners over Canadians, which I do not appreciate, I do not like, and I want Canadians to always have um, take care of Canadians first and then foreigners. There should be no reason that our pensioners receive less than refugees. That is ridiculous. Like that is absolutely stupid. And I do not apologize for my point of view here, because uh, our people matter more, and it is the right of every person who's from that country. For example, I myself, as somebody who moved to this country from an early age, I worked really hard for everything I have right now. And as somebody who went to Canadian school system, and as somebody who's a result of educating myself in Canada in undergrad in pilot school, seeing what is happening to this country is hurting me. And I don't want to get off on a tangent, but honestly, I love Canada because of the human rights we have, and that nobody, because of the leadership change, nobody can take away the pride rights that LGBT people has.
Right.
That's one of the main reasons I chose Canada over the United States.
We'll bracket that, because I'd love to get into that conversation further with you, because just for that reason, right? You just said you voted conservative, but this country's liberal, but most people would imagine that someone who is a part of the LGBTQ community would just automatically vote liberal. Well, we won't double click on that right now.
Yeah, that's the topic let's talk about, because like when I say this, people are like, oh, what? How dare you? And I'm like, well, how dare I? I mean, my standpoints on that, me, you, and my partner will have a talk, and I want that to be that actually will be something that I'm pretty sure everybody wants to hear my standpoints as a person of the LGBT community, and as somebody who is very much gay, mostly. I mean, I have been with women before, but I am mostly gay, so I am very much open to talking about my standpoints on why do we believe in conservative.
So to be
values.
continued in that realm, which
Yeah.
I look forward to that conversation. But yeah, we'll continue. So you come to Canada, you're 14 to 16, and you get your first shot at like a runway. You become a model, you get, you know, showcased on a fashion show. Kind of walk us through that process.
Oh,
How did that happen?
it was crazy because I mean I was 14. I moved to Canada full time. I actually was a fat kid. Like I mean I was athletic, but I was fat. I played football. I was a defense.
Okay.
So it was being so suddenly by the age 16, I guess the little gay man inside me was like, you know what? Let's from this bloomed flower you are, let's rebud to a tiny little bud, and I shed all the excess weight.
You lost the baby fat to say, like in your face, and
Darling, it was no baby fat. That was a whole life vest,
Okay.
and
Okay.
you know, it was a whole situation. But you know, I shed my cocoon, and I flew away like a butterfly.
and that kind of instigated your journey as becoming a model.
So no, honestly, we were visiting New York. My mother came to Toronto. I was in St. Andrews College at the time in Ottawa, Ontario. My mother came to Toronto to see me for a long weekend. We went to New York to see my great aunt. She lived in Manhattan at the time, and I was walking on Fifth Avenue, and this guy saw me, like literally random as hell. He was like, "Your ears look like elephant ears," and I was like, "What the hell?" And I was like, "That's an insult." And he was like, "It's not a bad thing. You have such wide face when it comes to cheek. Like you have such strong bone structure." The way he said it, I was like, is that a compliment or an insult? but the way he was saying it was really cool. So I was like, okay, by all means. And then he said, "Have you done modeling before?" I was like, "No, never. I just got skinny."
Right.
And at the time, back in those days, we're talking like at least, oh my God, I'm old. 12 years ago, 13 years. Oh my goodness, I'm old. 13 years ago.
You're under 30. You're a young man. Don't worry.
No, honestly, nowadays you have no idea how hard we work. Technically, I cut the Gen Z thing, so I'm 1987, so that's the Gen Z era. So I'm still, I'm still relevant.
Right.
Thank God, I'm still relevant. Thank God. So when that happened, and that at that time is where like YSL was getting so much hate for casting like really skinny models and everything. But still, that time we did not have plus size modeling. We did not have any of that. At that time, skinny was in, and that was the deal. So, and I was really quite skinny and twinky at the time. And then, so that was my first shot. So the first gig I booked was I walked Toronto's Men's Fashion Week. I walked New York Fashion Week. I got booked on. I was the cover of Seven magazine, which was like iconic. I've never booked. It was crazy, like how fast this thing moved.
Mm-hmm.
But well, I had university, so my mother was like very much against all of that, and I did my
Right.
schooling at UBC. But the modeling thing really took a turn when I decided to do it as not just a model, but as somebody with a brain.
Mm-hmm.
So I, for example, with this spring collection that you will see in Prada in Dubai Fashion Week, my brain helped them put in together all the collection, which was a huge honor. I'm going to post on my Instagram. The fact that Prada would trust my brain, that was such a big deal. And I was like, okay, this is incredible. When I went to Dubai Mall, I saw their person who came from Italy or France, I believe. Like he was just really handsome, tall guy, and he came. I was like, okay, this is the pieces we have, and then we had a conversation. There were so many big names there, and I was like, well, the fact that I'm amongst these icons, like that's an honor. Like I love that, and I appreciate whoever that has ever given me a chance to be me, and
Well, I think that's cool because like you have the modeling side, and then you're able to kind of put things together, like you said, with the brain, and that will be a good segue because I know you started off in school so you said UBC, and you took medicine, or you went to trying to be a doctor.
Yes, so I did undergrad at UBC, then I did my fundamentals of medicine at Harvard.
Okay.
And then I went to medical school in Florida. So second year happened just as I was beginning third year with long-term patient care. That's when it was peak of COVID. So Florida, COVID, none of that. Like it was awful. It was awful. I mean, for me as somebody who was really interested in medicine, I mean, I am I mean, I am my mother's son, and she's a surgeon, and then her mother was a doctor, her grandfather was a doctor. Everybody, my maternal side, are physicians. So for me to really say, okay, I've had enough, I need to transition from this career, there was a bridge pregnancy that I scrubbed in on, and the wonderful lady who was delivering was like, she defecated on me for 4 hours.
Wow.
And after it was done and the baby was born, because I was one of those really courageous, brave medical students who never missed a single opportunity to be in the OR. I loved surgery from a young age. I remember the first time I went to OR with my mother, I just saw like a glimpse of what was behind those glasses just to see what's happening. I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. Just the fact that you can be doing everything with your hands and get to that level of iconicness. To me, nothing. To me, surgeons, pilots, these icons who use their hands to do incredible things.
Mm-hmm.
To me, those are superior beings. That's why I was like, I want to do this. But little I knew, and so many times people forget, in medical school, you deal with sick people all day long.
Right.
And not always they're physically sick, they're also mentally sick, and they're also frustrated, and their families are also your patients. Everybody becomes your patient then.
Right.
So I scrubbed in, I went in, the bridge pregnancy happened, she defecated on me for 4 hours, and then looked up to the sky, thank you, Jesus. And nothing to me, nothing to the team or nothing. And then that was done. And I was like, are you for real? Like nothing against Jesus and the Jesus loving clan. But what about the person who was literally sitting under you and helping you deliver, and all the attendings and all the incredible healthcare staff,
Right.
the nurses, the scrub nurses, the anesthesia team? What about those people? What about the doctors? What about me as a student doctor? What about all that? Nothing. And people seem to be okay with it. And I am one of those people, Dylan, that if something's wrong, Rambod Rezaie is the first person who shouts and says it's wrong, fix it.
Right.
Well, you can only imagine it was not an easy conversation with that patient, because I was like, are you for real?
That was the turning point.
No, that did happen, but also COVID, because I was the youngest entry of medical school. And even deep down inside, in the back of my mind, I always knew I'm probably not going to finish medical school, because I have a tattoo here that says Met 2020. It never says MD 2024.
Okay.
So to me, in my head, I was like, this is most likely not my thing. Because I always knew, like, being in front of camera, being on TV, doing cool, iconic things is my calling.
Yeah.
But also the vast education, all of my hard work, I didn't want it to go to waste, to be honest. And I did have a Bachelor of Science. I did get my fundamentals of medicine certifications from Harvard. I worked so hard for whatever it was that I was at the time. So I was like, and I did the MCATs and I got into med school. So I was like, I might as well go and do it,
Mm-hmm.
and that helped. But the turning point was after this crazy day and those crazy days, that crazy era with COVID and everything. I was literally chilling, sitting on the toilet. I never forget that day. I was just sitting on the toilet, and I had a window right here. Like, if this is the toilet, this is the window I could see. And then I saw a plane fly. I was like, okay, think about this. You get to do iconic things with your hands. And the schooling is related only to flying that giant, magnificent beast.
Right.
So what's the point of not becoming a pilot? I will be a pilot. And no one in my entire family has ever been a pilot. Nobody in my entire lineage has ever done flying or anything like that.
Very cool.
So that was the day I was like, I walked into a flight school and I was like, here I come.
This is it. This is my direction.
Well, I mean, this was my direction until I came back from LA and I saw Braden. So I left piloting for a while. I helped open that business, JJ's Kitchen in West Vancouver. That was my restaurant. So I had that restaurant. Then I helped Plenty, the drink brand how we met was through Plenty, that drink brand. And I did those things because I needed to make money, because I fell in love and I had to, stay with this guy that I fell in love with.
Of course.
So pilot school wasn't really an option. But then after I did all those things and I made some good dough to save me for a while, I was like, let's go back into it. So I did my private piloting before I become an entrepreneur full time.
Mm-hmm.
But then now I'm so happy that I'm doing piloting. I'm just so happy that I'm back into it full time and I'm doing it in the level I'm doing it. So thank God for that.
And it's like what you're alluding to, like these high stakes environments. So like your family, you said your mom was a surgeon, your grandma was a physician, and then you were getting
My
your
great
feet wet.
grandpa was also a physician. Everybody, honestly, whoever I can think of was either a physician or married to a physician or married to a rich person who died and then they became physicians, something of that sort. So
And so with you now, like, having that background, how have you brought like a lot of the understanding and things that you learned in medical school into your aviation bit like practice? I know like, people rely on you for health and safety. People want a pilot that's capable,
yeah,
obviously. They want to feel safe. And so how has that transition been for you? And what are the things that excite you the most about flying? I know you kind of briefly mentioned seeing the plane and being like, yeah, I'm going to be the first person in my family to be a pilot, and now that you have moved into that, what's things that people might not expect that pilots have to undergo, or some of the stressors, or just things that you'd like to share about aviation in general?
honestly, to me, like dexterity is my passion. I love to use my hands for. I like to, like I mean, being able to use my body and being as ADHD as I am, and with all the energy I have in my body, doing something that I'm not even bored for a single second of it. That is a privilege. That is an honor. Like there is no dull moments when I'm in the sky. I love it. Like usually when it's like really windy, so many pilots don't enjoy, but I love when there's like huge winds coming, gusting to even huger winds. I'm obsessed with that. I
Hmm.
don't mind. Like what I love to do with airplanes is like if we fly the tinier airplanes, I like those more actually.
Okay.
Because you get to do spins with them, you get to do crazy cool stuff. I love doing those. I mean, my Instagram is all about me flying really cool maneuvers with those planes. I love that because straight and level flight, as incredible as it is, that doesn't bring all that joy to me. Like I like
So
to
two person smaller plane, you fly up, you do barrel rolls, you do
yeah.
flips, that type of thing.
Oh
Wow.
yes, and
Okay.
if you do like if you have like a aerobatics plane, oh my god, the things you can do with those. Oh, I'll show some videos. Oh, you won't believe it's so much fun. To me, I enjoy having like so many pilots. You see, they're overworked, stressed, or yes, there's a lot of studying involved. By no means, I don't want people to get this wrong. If you think about pilot school, you need to study. You need to sit your ass down, study. It is what it is. Deal with it. But at the same time, you get to become the plane because the more you know,
Hmm.
the more you're able to control disasters. You're more able to know what to do in case of emergencies.
Correct.
So I mean, people see that fun, cool side of me. Like even I did an interview with Daniela, which is a she has a podcast. She has a channel. She also does some really cool interviews. It actually got 2.8 million views on her TikTok.
Wow.
So and then I got so many love comments, so many nice DMs, but also so many hate comments that, oh my god, I wouldn't trust this guy with nothing, blah blah blah, or
Right.
like he's a scammer, he's a scam artist, or something like that. And I'm like, well, all these people who I don't even know exist hate me for no reason. I'm like, well, that's wonderful, but at the same time, whoever knows me and whoever who actually has met me knows that I'm a very serious person underneath all that joke and charisma and all the
Right.
fun I have. I'm pretty cutthroat. I mean, in business, I've proven to be good. Like, I mean, the restaurant I co-owned and led was a very successful business. Yes, we sold because at that time, my business partner had different visions, and I wanted to also move on to the next thing. And I knew entrepreneurship is a wonderful thing, but it's not my full-time calling because I knew I wanted to do something with my education.
Hmm.
And with all my degrees and everything, what I'm trying to do right now is to get clearances for the Air Force because honestly, that would be the highest honor to be able to serve our country and also fly fighter jets. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Oh,
How cool.
come on. It's
I'm
just
sure anyone who's
so,
seen Top Gun Maverick or any of those movies are just like, yeah, that's where I want to be, in the cockpit of a fighter pilot.
it's
And
so cool. It's just like, I mean, even a couple of days ago, I actually paid a visit to the Air Force station of the United States is by Washington, if I'm not wrong. And then I saw one of those iconic, th- that those, I forgot the name. Actually, I think that they call it a Black Hawk, and then it's like a helicopter. It's like it's a wonderful helicopter of the United States Air
yeah.
Force. Oh my good! I mean, I'm an airplane pilot, but just seeing that, being able to go in and just looking at what can happen with this machine, it's so iconic. So for me, like for those who like don't really see me all that serious, because I do serious shit all day long. You know what I mean? I do
Mhm.
serious things all day long. I wake up every day at 5:30 a.m. being a pilot, you need to be fit. So I go to gym every morning. I try my best to eat healthy. I usually eat one meal a day, not more. I have one huge meal a day. Don't get, I love food. I love eating. God knows I do. And then, but the rest of the day, I do serious things. I do calculations. I do flight planning. I do a lot of things that you have to do. So my apologies to whoever who sees me as the fun person I am, and you get offended because pilots have to be fitting in the box of your definitions. The characteristics should be the serious, grumpy person with a mustache sitting around. That's just not me, and that would never be me. You know,
Right.
I am happy with who I am, and I'm a hell of a pilot. I fly really well. I enjoy that. What I do in the sky is fun.
It sounds like it. And I think like most people, you allude to high stakes ER, high stakes being in a pilot. It's really being fully immersed in the activity that you're doing, right? And I think everyone's kind of searching for that for themselves. Like you've been lucky enough to find it in medicine and now in aviation. And I'm sure if you're on a runway and you're walking with an iconic fashion outfit on too, hopefully you're nowhere else other than there, right? You're fully immersed in the moment. You're walking down the runway, and you're not thinking about this person or that person. So when people expand themselves into like the present moment fully, and they're building empires and they're being creative and they're doing all these things that kind of change the identity of what they think that person should be, it rubs people the wrong way most of the time, right? Because people like to
Yeah.
put people in boxes. They want to go, okay, this person's like this, and so they can't be like that, or this person does this, so they can't be like that. Whereas the most interesting people I've ever met have always been kind of paradoxes. They've always been hot and cold, up and down. They are able to hold both of these dualities in their own being, and I think that's what makes them interesting. Because if you can categorize someone and just know right off the bat, I have this person's number, there's no curiosity to it, right?
Yeah.
And for you, I know when I first met you, I was like, yeah, this is a guy that I could probably get into a good conversations with, and we
You
might have.
thought I'm insane, right?
Well, that was a given, but like we had differing views. But it
Yeah.
would be someone I know I could sit down on a couch in the future, talk about things, and we could actually have a dialogue. And I
Yeah.
think going back to what is difficult in the world these days is there's not a lot of good dialogue happening because
Oh
it's
no,
like,
everything is like, I mean, right now we live in a world where people are hidden behind their devices.
right,
Never in my life I sat down and typed a hate comment underneath someone's photo or like commented. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm blessed that I have visibility. Like people, like my Instagrams, I get views, I get a lot of messages, emails. I mean, even my email, like my last name, my first name at yahoo.ca, I get so many emails that people want to collaborate on stuff, and I'm so honored for it. Don't get me wrong, but I do. To me, business is the most personal thing, and I do this very old school. Until I see the person in person, until I am in touch with that person, I don't like to do business with them.
mm-hmm.
Even if it's like overseas or like with different countries and stuff, I'm like, okay, let's do a Zoom meeting.
Yeah.
Because people's energy transfers. I want to see who I'm dealing with. And just as you said, in high school, Mr. Shields, actually he was my biology teacher. He called me the man of Renaissance. Because he was like, you do everything and you're good at it. Like I won the headmaster award in art. I drew this huge lion's head for Sanders College. It was like the symbol of the school was a lion, and I did a wonderful painting. And then I played football. I was in varsity swimming. I applied to UBC, U of T, McGill, Harvard, Oxford, look everywhere. I applied to all the good schools in the UK, in the US, in Canada, and I got in everywhere. Right. So like having that power, I was enjoying the fact that I could use my cerebral magnitude and my brain to achieve the things I want. And I have a tested IQ of 141. To be able to have that, I'm so happy. I'm so honored that I get to use it. However, another thing, just to click back and you said, what are the difficulties? Like, are there any challenges in life of somebody who's a pilot? Because I mean, I am still studying. I want to become a captain one day. I want to become an Air Force pilot if I have the opportunity. So, but another thing that I really find difficult is like, you're responsible for your body.
Right.
Like I don't get to smoke weed the way I used to before. I don't get to party often. I don't get to do the things that I used to do. But because right now I have to have devotion to my body and to the people that their lives are entrusted by me.
Right.
So that's something that people have to, because I mean, I've seen before in the past where like there has been incidents with like we hear the stories all the time, and where like a pilot didn't honor their code and did the things that they shouldn't have done, and therefore people suffered, therefore the cockpit suffered, therefore the professionalism or the profession suffered. I don't want that to ever be the case for me. That's why when I went back into piloting full time, I accepted that, okay, my body is a part of my career.
Right.
I need to make sure that I'm devoted to the cause, and I am. And thank God my partner also understands that we need to be, we're grown up men now, we're almost 30, and we need to make more adult choices.
The adoption of responsibility in general, I think, is something that people try to push down the runway as long as possible. But when people eventually embrace it, whether through force or tragedy or just even motivation, being inspired by other people, and they go, okay, I want to get my life together. I'm going to adopt more responsibility. I'm going to really make a man of myself or a woman of myself. It does really change your perspective on life, because all of a sudden your future, your destiny, whatever you want to call it, seems like you're going to be the one piecing it together versus outside of circumstances, right? And people always love to blame circumstances. They always like to point the finger at other things, other people.
Oh yeah, and I hate that, because like when people say, okay, this happened, that happened, so what? Like, I'm telling you, when I went to that pilot school, I was the oldest. To this day, I find myself, I am older than majority of my peers at the stage that I am in the piloting world. Well, because I started way later. Like, people usually start at 7. I was the youngest in the medical field, yet I was the oldest in the piloting, the aviation world. Because, well, I didn't have a dad who was a pilot. I did not have all those things. And then, given all the traumas, all the shit I've gone through in my life, well, nobody thought I would go and do this. But I'm very proud of myself for being in this place right now, and pushing through those obstacles and circumstances, miseries, issues is for everybody. Everyone has financial issues. Everybody has home issues. Everybody has trauma. Even the richest of the rich nowadays, with the current economy system, has many issues. I know people personally who took lines of credit to be able to make payroll,
right?
Which is horrible. I want the best for our country, but at the same time, we live in a world where circumstances is for everybody. The world is not as rich as it used to be. It's not a happy place as it used to be, because nowadays people just open their phones and their screens, they scroll. And unfortunately, I learned this through my last, like, the kind of world venture that I did: Dubai, Korea, Japan, and then back to US, back to Canada, and then Europe again, and then back to Canada. I was like, well, unfortunately, you go to all these incredible destinations, the photos look better. And that
highlight reel, right? Like,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that sucks, because like, that's why I'm at this stage. I cleaned up my act. I went and did something worthy with my time. But just to address one thing that you said, okay, model, pilot, this and that. I do not fit any category. When I'm on a runway, when I'm doing something as a fashion icon, I'm leading a show, I'm hosting an event, I'm hosting a fashion event, whether it's in Dubai, it's in Paris, it's here, it's in US, I don't care about myself. I see myself as Rambo. And Rambo is scheduled and programmed to do everything he does to the best of his abilities.
Right.
I don't define myself, okay, yes, I love to say I'm a pilot, and I enjoy saying that, don't get me wrong, it's such a hot flex. But at the same time, I also know nobody hosts a damn show better than me. I know that nobody stands up on that runway and leads a whole new era of fashion the way I do it. Because when I introduce brands, when I introduce designs, when I introduce designers, I do it the way nobody does it. Like, that's why so many people from Dubai, from Paris to London Fashion Week to Berlin Fashion Week, they want me, because they know if I take that stage and I'm introducing a brand and I'm introducing the next steps for a brand, I do it so well.
Right.
Because I believe in whatever I do, whether it's aviation, whether it used to be medical school. And just as you saw, it wouldn't have killed me to wait 2 more years and finish my doctor of medicine degree and become an MD. But I am loyal to myself. So at any time that something does not serve me or does not go in line with my purposes, I don't see any reason to continue it, because I'm loyal to myself.
I think that's something that a lot of people have difficulty with, because it's the sunk cost fallacy. I've spent 4 years doing this. They really don't feel like they can pivot. And then a lot of people build lives, or they build relationships, or businesses that they feel like they can't step away from because they've already, committed so much time. But by the sounds of it, for you, you're a testament to being like, you will kind of try things and experiment, but you always kind of have this idea that if it's no longer working for you at that point in time, you're willing to move on, and you have the will and the motivation to make whatever it is your next step in the journey become a part of who you are.
Of course.
And okay, so we're gonna pivot a little bit because I know you just did a little bit of a reality TV show.
Oh, we're digging into that.
Only if you want. So
reality. I do.
Reality TV, dating, like this type of thing. I know a lot of people probably have perceptions, and I think you've been married in the past, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, I was married in LA, and it was fun while it lasted.
Well, it lasted. Okay, we don't need to get into that unless you want to share anything.
No, I'm just I get. I mean, just to quick recap, like I get so many. Just a quick sidebar. Sorry, I get so many DMs every single day that what happened to your marriage in LA? You're with someone else right now. What the hell was a dating show in the middle? Because like again,
right.
Just to let everybody, whoever watches this, I want everybody to know, I am not a man who would go on a dating show while I have a relationship. And my partner was, before we did this interview, we did another interview with my friend.
Yeah.
My partner came and attested to the fact that we were not together at the time. And for my marriage purposes, in the state of California, you need to go in person and request the termination of the marriage. I am legally still married to the person I was married to. However, our relationship has drifted apart. It's been almost 4 years now. And I need to just, I'm awaiting some immigration stuff with the United States, and I will go back and deal with that accordingly. Okay. But don't worry, I'm not somebody who's polyamorous or believes. I do not believe in that. I don't believe you can love two people, right, in a setting together. It's just, and even if it is the case, it is way too progressive for my even my brain cannot handle this. Right. I mean, I focus my relationships one at a time, and the person I'm with right now, I was very open with our ups and downs throughout the years, because I love this man so much. God knows I do. However, we have gone through so many obstacles together, and I am so happy where we are today, because this reality show, the way I got on, my good friend Farah, who's a globally renowned artist, she's wonderful. She's a gem. I was super depressed because Brayden and I were not in contact anymore. It's been almost 3 months that we weren't talking. Mm-hmm. And given all the issues we had in the past, we had so many amazing things, but also so many issues. She was like, okay, you're so depressed, just go to this Farsi-speaking Love Island, for God's sakes. Right. And when that happened, well, she was friends with Terme, the host of the show. So she introduced me, and I went for the auditions, and oh my God, it was so busy. They had 1,000+ people who auditioned for the cause. People from the US, we had in the cast, if you saw the trailer or the pilot episode, it is 25 minutes, and it does have English subtitles because it was a cast from North America. So we had people from LA, people from Vegas, people from New York, Vancouver, Toronto, from Nova Scotia, for God's sake. It was from everywhere. Mm-hmm. So people came from everywhere, and I enjoyed it because, I got to be in an experience, and I did enjoy. I mean, I cannot do any spoilers, but it was a wonderful. This TV show took me back to some of my straight past, and I got to experience some of that. Well, I always say I'm a beautiful person, and I enjoy beautiful people. Hey, fair enough. Regardless of gender. Yeah. And it was wonderful, yeah. I think with that, like one of the problems, or I guess it's not necessarily a problem unless you look at it that way, but having a social life, being online, being on Instagram, people are going to know things about your life than people who just live a private life, right? Yeah. It's kind of the double-edged sword of being an Instagram. I don't know if you call yourself an influencer, but like at least having a following enough where people are paying attention. I don't call myself that. When I got so. Because back in the days where I had my own show in the Iranian national TV for my education and stuff, and how do I study, I had 3 live shows in Iran actually. I had an Instagram that had a following of 700,000 people with a non-purchase real blue check mark at the time. Mm-hmm. I got so depressed at the time when at the time again I was going through a lot of personal issues, and I just deleted my Instagram. Fully deleted.
Right.
Not even disabled. Deleted. So the current Instagram that you see, not even close to the following that I used to have, but people are getting back at it now, now that they found me again, because it's a more of a recent thing. So yeah, I don't call myself that. I am just me. Whoever enjoys follows, whoever doesn't. And again, the people who have issues with me or are just people who are just of such simple minds that do not understand that we are human beings and there is no limit to our capabilities.
Right.
There is no limit for me. In this day, I'm proud of everything I've done. I have some regrets in the past. Again, I owe myself 4 years. I feel like I'm 4 years behind in the things I wanted to do. But whatever, thank God. Thank God for whatever I have achieved, and I'm happy. But yeah, I don't call myself an influencer. I am just me, and whoever likes, come by.
Hey, that's the best way to be. I think in general, people look for people for guidance in life, right? And if you have a social following, people look and they go, I like that outfit. I like the way he carries himself. I like the way he's, transitioned from medical school to aviation to reality TV. And they go, I kind of want to be able to have my fingers in a bunch of different pies like that, right? Because a lot of people have a very systematic way of being, whether they're a 9 to 5 or they feel like they're on a hamster wheel. And by the looks of it, and just a brief exploration of your Instagram, that does not seem to be the case for you at all.
Oh, never. I'm just, um, this reality TV was actually a wonderful opportunity for everybody to this point. I mean, the pilot episode has been released a week ago. I got 7,000 followers in this week, which is crazy. I mean, some of the videos that I'm tagging got like 2.1 million views. That was the last video. I was shocked. I'm like, oh my God, thank you. But regardless of how much of this attention is hate or love, no one can see they didn't see me.
Attention is attention, and attention is currency in the modern world with social media. That's for sure. So at least,
and as RuPaul says, no publicity is bad publicity.
exactly.
So I am so happy that, because again, I say that a million times, and I say it for 1,000,001 time to you. Had there been another Rambo back in the days, had there existed another me back in the days, maybe my friend Ali wouldn't be dead today. Maybe I didn't have to go through the hell I gone through to be myself, to discover me, to even believe that my sexuality is not an abomination on this earth. Because honestly, growing up in Iran and knowing the things I know, I was in such fear to be myself for the longest time. And it took for a man that I fell in love with, the first boyfriend I had, his name was Colin. To this day, he's probably the best person I know. A wonderful man, a wonderful, wonderful man. I came out for him because he was so helpful to me. He was so genuine with me that I was like, okay, I'm going to be telling people about who I am, my true self, because he was the person who loved me for who I am. Today, Braden, my partner, he loves me for who I am. And even in the show, whoever that I cannot spoil matched with me saw the true me, the real me. And people who see the real me never have any issues with me because I'm the easiest person. Oh, he loves you so much.
Hey,
look at that,
buddy.
It's just everybody that seems to like you, Dylan. Isn't
It's
that
an
the
energy
vibe?
thing, isn't it?
I like you too. And then people, I mean, whoever has issues with me are people who are miserable, sad, and not fulfilled in their own lives. Because if you're fulfilled, if you're satisfied, you do not want anything but the best and genuine love for other people around you. I do not ever want anything but good for the people around me. I always take care of people around me so well.
I love that. It's an N of one. So for anyone listening, it's one of those things that it takes a lot of courage to be yourself, especially in a world that wants you to be someone else, right? And hey, like especially this guy here. But for that, it's go for it. Start the business. Be courageous. Get to the gym. Do whatever it is that's in your mind that you want to do, but you feel maybe too afraid or small or whatever that you haven't taken the steps. And I think knowing you for the little bit I've had, you do encourage people to swing for that and to pursue their dreams, even if they're fearful of the outcome.
Yeah.
So let's tap on this idea that you are now in cinema, reality TV. Is there anything that's going to happen from this that you would like to see? Do you want to start starring in movies? I know there's some rumors out there of things that might be happening with some Iranian superstars, or maybe even Hollywood. What can you tell us, or what are you open to sharing about your journey in film?
Honestly, I'm glad you asked this question because last week we had, by we I mean I had some DMs from some really big names in the Iranian cinema who are currently not in Iran. Like, and also I'm a huge fan of whoever that DM me. But I received another DM from this film writer, and he said that a very famous director is interested in working with you. That you will be starring this gay kid, and the mother of mine will be this legend of. I mean, it is nothing but a privilege to even say this because I worked so hard for who I am today in this life. But again, had there been anything like me in the past, I would have definitely done, I would have been way kinder to myself.
Right.
So this is way bigger than me. And just to let you know, I am a huge fan of Shohreh Aghdashlu, which is a huge name in Hollywood. She's an Iranian actress who was an actress in Iran, and now she's an actress in Hollywood as well. She's a legend in House of Saddam. She played the wife of Saddam, I believe. She's a legend. She has been in so many Hollywood movies, and I love this woman so much. My dream is to one day be able to act alongside this legend. I am not. I mean, I've been on reality TV. I've been on TV before in live settings, but I'm not a professional actor yet.
Right.
But if I become one, by all means. But this TV show that was talked upon, nothing is finalized yet. But the fact that it was brought to me that director Rasulov, who's a big name in Iranian cinema, wants me to be starring alongside Golshifteh Farahani, which is my legend icon. She's a legend. She's an icon. She's so much to people like myself. She's so much to Iranian people all around the world. She is probably the number one superstar actress of my origins. She's probably the number one actress, and she will probably always be this level of, she is everything. I can't even express how much I love this woman and how important she is to my life and how important she has been for me throughout my journey. As a young Rambo, she was my icon, just because she was the first person ever from my heritage to come. I believe it was in Paris, and she did a full movie, and she was fully nude in some of the scenes, and that has never been seen in the history of Iranian cinema. That has never been seen ever on the screens, and I believe she played in some Hollywood movies, and I love her so much. So to have this privilege, to have this honor, to be able to act alongside a legend like Golshifteh Farahani, a legend like Shohreh Aghdashlu, to have this privilege to work with directors Rasulov or Asghar Farhadi, to have the privilege to be able to act alongside these legends, I would love nothing more. But again, we're at the talking stages. Yesterday, some synopsis was sent to me. I did some reading. I'm really privileged and I'm honored, and hopefully it works out. And if it doesn't, whoever gets the role, I'm happy for them.
We'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens.
With you say icon, and you mentioned this as people who motivate you to become the man you are today, right? And people say legacy, what they want to leave behind, what they want their kids to remember them by. When you look at your life, you're still a young man and you have decades to go. But up to this point, if you could kind of wrap it up in a sentence or two, what would you want people to know or remember you by? Like if you were to say, this is me as a person. I hope if someone thinks of me, they're going to X, be motivated to pursue their dreams. They're going to be motivated to come out of, if they're a gay man and they haven't come out yet, maybe that's the step. What do you think would be your message to the world with regards to legacy and, living a life on your own terms?
Honestly, my only message for the world would be, I want everybody in the world, whoever sees this, remember me by this. Loyalty, because I'm very loyal to my surroundings. My oldest friend, my bestest friend in the whole world, Farhang and Muji. Like, Farhang has been my best friend for 17 years. Muji, my other best friend, been my friend for 9 years now. I don't lose people around me. And your circle is very important. People around me do not leave. Even in my restaurant, people always said, nobody quits, nobody quit. In the 2 and a bit years that, usually the beginning of a business, everybody, you're hiring, firing. In my business, nobody left. Because with me, loyalty goes a long way, and I want everybody. And when my book Four Summers comes, Four Summers speaks to my relationship with Braden, everything that happened with us, and I'm so happy we're back together because some of the parts I want his writings to be a part of it too. And we actually spoke with this publisher in New York, and they'll be probably funding the advance for the book. We'll see where things go, but even Headmaster McHenry, headmaster of Sanders College, said when this book drops, everybody in the school will be buying it because it really delves into some of the deepest, darkest spots of any relationship that people. We don't have many books that really talks about this, but somebody like myself who's loyal, honest, and open, I never refrain from talking about any subject. I am very comfortable in talking about any subject, whatever it may be, because I am comfortable with who I am as a person.
Right.
So to me, if somebody wants to take a message, be loyal to your surroundings, be good. Don't just do not treat people like they're disposable. And that's probably my biggest asset because people show up for me. Like, see yourself today, you showed up for me. Douglas showed up for me. The incredible videographer we have here showed up for me. People usually show up for me. And that is the biggest gift in the world, to be of a character that people can rely on. And I'm so happy that I am this, and I'll probably never change.
I would agree. There's a major difference between a boss and a leader. And bosses, require people to follow their orders because they're getting paid, or, that's the only reason that people might listen to them. Whereas leadership is beyond that. Leadership has an aura to it that people want to go the extra mile. They want to be in that vicinity because, there's going to be some benefit. Normally they're an employee and they're getting paid, but also they're going to stay late. They're going to go the extra mile. They're going to look at things a little differently than they would if they just had a boss. And so everyone, I think, is looking to inspire leadership in themselves and in others. And I know you've done that for the people that, follow your Instagram, the people that have watched your reality TV show that's going to be airing. When's it air?
End of October, honey. That thing is coming, and it's going to drop. I mean, one of the reasons I wanted to actually have these interviews done, because I've had a lot of channels, especially magazines, radio channels from the US and Canada, especially the Farsi speaking ones, reach out saying okay, we want to do some interviews with you. I said I'd rather do my own thing and publish it because people are so used to me having this crazy fun energy, but nobody sees the real me, the way I am as serious as I am in my professional life. Now people get to see this because, on that TV show, I'm fun.
I bet.
I'm a lot of fun. But this is also the other side of me, which again, nobody can put in a box. And I'm happy we're doing this.
Me too. It's, be a paradox, be someone that people can't categorize. And I think that's the best way to kind of try to have the greatest adventure of your life, right? So,
of course,
is there anything that I've missed or I haven't asked about that you would like to share with the audience, or just even closing remarks, final comments, anything like that?
No, nothing. Just after my interview with Daniela, honestly, I'm seeing the comments, especially in TikTok and Instagram. I realized that Canadians aren't kind to each other anymore, because hate comments doesn't affect me at all. The love comments go a long way. I don't know if you saw my Instagram a couple of years ago. I shared the fan art that one of the wonderful followers of mine did of me and Braden. It was so beautiful, watercolor, and another person did some painting, and it means the world to me to see all those love messages. And I open all my DMs. I see everybody who messages me. I love it. But the reason why us as a country cannot go as far as we can go is because we don't take a kind eye towards each other.
Right.
When Daniel did that interview with me, it was just me going to ATM at 11 a.m. on my day off. I was wearing literally my casual home clothes with my Crocs, and I had my Birkin in my hand. I was just going to ATM, and my car was flashing. I would just look, because I'm a lazy person when it comes to these things. So, sorry, all the traffic controllers. I just parked by the bank and just quickly ran in without, just having it flashy. It is what it is. Deal with it. But I came back, and then she talked to me, and it was wonderful. I had a wonderful time. And then you see all these comments. Oh, he's probably coming down of drugs. He's probably this. I'm like, well, this is so sad, because it's people who I don't even know of their very existence in this world have an opinion on me. That is very sad. I mean, whoever who has a life, who has a solid career, who has a good sex life, who has a good everything that's happening, usually people who have issues with me are those who do not have good sex lives or ugly or miserable inside.
I think in general, people who have issues with anyone are, missing something in their life. And so they take it out on other people. And that's just, I think, across the board on social media, in real life. Be kind to people. Know people are going through things in general. The person next door to you might have a story that you would be fascinated to hear about if you ever gave them, a minute of your time. But yeah, I think I agree with you. Canadians seem to be more divided than ever. And if we want to really expand and keep growing as a country, we'll have to, put those differences behind us and move forward in a way that feels true and is motivating for everyone. So,
Well, that's true, but also at the same time, I'm not saying, oh, take a compassion look to my story. I couldn't care less if somebody feels for me or not. I mean, for everybody else, I always treat people with kindness, love, and respect until I'm treated differently. If somebody comes from me, oh, God help them. I am ready to go. Like I'm so sweet, I'm so kind, but God forbid somebody's in a war with me. It is going to be hell for them because I know I always win. Like, it's just who I am. That's why when I'm wrong, when I'm in the wrong, I am man enough to always retract and, apologize and fix things.
right.
But just to see like hatred coming for no reason, and then you click on their pages, their Instagram pages and accounts, he's the father of someone. She's the mother of somebody. I'm like, what kind of an example are you setting for a child to be this ignorant, hating, like self-hate? Like there's so many things wrong here. Because again, I am from a country where my very existence bothers millions. So do you really think I'm bothered by some hate comments? I don't give a shit.
Right.
But for them to sit down in their PJs with their horrible probably bodies and lifestyles to type a hate comment on me and my iconic life, baby, I'm in disguise, I don't care.
Right.
So that is that is sad on the haters' end. Because whoever who knows me, people who usually are in my circle like yourself, successful, handsome, careers going, and also if they're going through something, they know that I'm there for them. They can always give me a call, say, hey Rambo, I need your help, something's going on. And I am that loyal friend who comes, and I have showed up for my followers so many, I didn't even know the person, but I showed up for them to help them because sometimes people just need somebody to talk to. So my message and my last word is be kind for God's sakes, because kindness your negativity doesn't affect my day. It just ruins your day more because you're putting more negative in the world, and whatever you put in comes back to you. And it is just the laws of the universe.
That's the way it works. Be kind, love everyone, and pursue your dreams.
There
Thank
we
you
go.
for taking the time, my
Thank
friend.
you so much.
Hey.
Look at Daniel loving you.
Hey. Thanks, everyone. We'll catch you next week.
Thanks so much for listening to the Create Podcast. Please be sure to like, subscribe, and share with your friends. See you next Wednesday.